Hi, welcome to Myers ASMR. How are you? I hope you're well. It's always good to see you. Do you know that you get what you think about? Yeah, you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. Well, I've been thinking about this McDonald's breakfast and I do want it. It's an egg and cheese biscuit and a hash brown, which I have not had in many years. So, let's have at it. That's good. Sticking to the paper a bit because I actually got it yesterday. So they're still just as good as they were years ago. So basically, I have a schedule. I upload 3 times a week, 3 days a week. And I do have a schedule of Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Now, if I miss a day, I'll usually post it on the next day, but it's pretty much always 3 times a week that I upload content. These are so good. Yes, I get them without meat. have cider, then I'm not drinking anything at all because that's all I like. Oh, I do like the fruity, sweet Belgian beers. They are just phenomenal. Especially the ones by Lindenmans. That stuff doesn't even taste like alcohol. It tastes like fruit punch. Anyways, it's time for getting better and better every day in every way, right? One of the ways I like to do that is with this People Smarts book because I feel like relations with people and interpersonal skills are some of the most important skills you could ever develop. Alrighty, so we're on the chapter about resolving conflict, and he's talking about ways to be an effective conflict resolver. He lists 3 ways to be an effective conflict resolver. So, he says to, did I do this one already? No, this is where I left off. He says to create a climate of mutual interest by confronting disagreements without being disagreeable, putting the real issues on the table, and strive to negotiate win-win solutions. So we're going to talk about creating a climate of mutual interest as a way of resolving conflict. Conflict resolution poses the most gain and the least pain when we are able to take a cooperative rather than an adversarial approach to working out differences. For this to happen, both parties need to own the problem and recognize that they have a stake in solving it. 3 behaviors are helpful in promoting a mutual approach to conflict. We need to service the conflict, take a positive approach, and foster partnership. I'm going to repeat that. 3 behaviors are helpful in promoting a mutual approach to conflict. We need to surface the conflict, take a positive approach, and foster partnership. So we're going to talk about servicing the conflict. Service the conflict. Conflicts occur when 2 parties perceive their interests as incompatible. Differences in needs, goals, or values, or competition for scarce resources are potential triggers for conflict. Sometimes these issues are immediately apparent and quickly settled, as when 2 people run for the same taxi on a rainy day, where the one yields to the cab to the other, or they share it. It's unlikely their dispute will continue for long. But often conflicts simmer over time without resolution. Either the differences are not addressed openly or occasional skirmishes erupt, but neither party pursues the problem to resolution. We all know couples who have been having the same fights for years. We could practically choreograph their arguments, but arguing repeatedly is not the same as defining a conflict and facing it directly. When we surface a conflict, we bring it out into the open, stated in neutral terms, and own it as a mutual problem. Problems are not defined in mutual terms when one or both parties simply blame the other guy. If Joe and Harry have a long-standing disagreement and Harry's explanation is that Joe is a stubborn SOB, then Joe has been defined as the problem. How likely is it that Joe will accommodate Harry by changing his personality? Not very. In order to be willing to deal with a conflict, we need to get to we. For example, we are at odds about blank. Our problem is blank. The conflict we're having is blank. The issue between us is blank. When we are bogged down is blank. Until the conflict is acknowledged as ours, little will happen in the way of cooperative resolution. Okay, I see he gets into these long what is that going to do? That's just going to give it more power. That just makes it stick around longer when you